Do you ever feel like every story, every article, every situation that you're ever exposed to has seemingly been perfectly designed or set up to make you feel anxious, to make you doubtful, or make you worried? Well, you're not alone. Stay tuned throughout this video because I'm going to be explaining why reality seemingly wants to drain you of your energy. And if it succeeds, then that is energy which you don't have to put towards your own goals, towards your own future, towards your own manifestation, which you don't have to contribute or put towards creating a better reality for yourself and obtaining your desires, because we always get what we choose. Now, there are different names for the same thing. In reality transurfing, the term used for a collective thought pattern is called a pendulum. Now, a pendulum is anything which gets, it can be a single person, but when it gets a group of people all thinking about the same thing. And these pendulums have been designed to lure your attention, to grab your attention, and energy flows where attention goes. So if your attention is on any subject, and there are infinite amount of examples that we can use, then your energy goes there. This concept can be confusing at first, and it was for me, but essentially a pendulum is anything that gets a group of people all thinking about the same thing. Your thought energy collectively with other people's thoughts combine to create an energy structure. And this energy structure gains momentum, and ultimately it can be destructive, but in essence, it drains your energy. It's designed to lure you in, and it's designed to set you up to fight against another group of people who are thinking in a different way. And it creates an energetic current of thoughts, which are all flowing through our ether, or the collective unconscious, the information field, quantum field, whatever you want to use. People's collective thoughts, your collective thoughts, when they gather enough momentum, can gain power over you. They can gain and control power over your mind and over your consciousness. And in turn, by default, this sucks you of your own spiritual energy. There are loads of examples that we can use, but the big one, which always springs to mind, is politics. Anything political. It doesn't matter whether you're a PhD student, you're a doctor of politics, or whether you're the prime minister, president, or whether you're a road sweeper. You will have a strong opinion on politics. You'll have an exceptionally strong motive and opinion on how your nation or your country is run and how the world's governed. Doesn't matter who you are or where you are. Doesn't matter if you've got a high political job in government or whether you've just watched a 10-second clip on the morning news. That will create an opinion, and it will get your mind collectively in tune and in frequency with other people's minds. And what this does, it creates a thought pattern, which is called a pendulum, and ultimately is designed to make you feel bad, to make you anxious, to make you angry, and to make you fearful. Just think of all the news stories that you've seen this week or this morning. Doesn't matter what it is, they would have been portrayed to you in such a manner that you end up taking sides, and you also end up feeling bad and negative, and it puts you in that negative vibration. And then collectively, millions of other people will all be on the same thought pattern and resonating at the same energetic frequency. Everybody is strongly opinionated on anything. It's almost human nature. So whether you're left, right, conservative, Labour, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. Both these sides are set up to fend against each other. And have you ever noticed how one side always says almost the exact opposite to the other? And then what this does, it creates a distinction between the two groups of people. So we're better than them. They are better than us. We don't like the look of that type of person over there, so that person's our enemy. This becomes not like a group think. Well, it can be classed as group think. The phrase which was being used sort of a few years ago was mass formation psychosis, where groups of people all of a sudden start thinking about the same thing. And you could ask where these thoughts actually originate from. When dozens of people, hundreds of people, or even millions of people all start latching on and tuning into the same thought, well, that creates an energetic current in our ether, in the information field, and it creates an energetic structure. And these energetic structures are designed to be combated against other energetic structures. For example, Donald Trump is a pendulum. His position in our world is clearly designed to drain you of your energy, because whether you love him, whether you hate him, has an emotional pull on you. When you see him on the TV giving a speech, or you read something that he said, it will be portrayed in such a way so that if you're with one group of people, you will see it and interpret it as being good and positive. But if you're with the other group of people, then you will view it as being negative, bad, and outrageous. So having an opinion on these subjects, or any thought, will result in you handing over your sovereignty to said pendulum. Whatever it is, whatever the situation is, or the story is, or the puppet, or the scenario, if you devote any time, energy, or thought patterns to it, it will drain you of your energy. That's what it's designed to do. And whether you're aware of it or not, your thoughts will be resonating at the same vibrational frequency as potentially millions of other people. Putting your thoughts and your mind potentially in harmony with hundreds of thousands or millions of people creates an energetic structure in your reality. And that is how this reality works. So have a think about energy draining subjects. It could be something that you've seen today, or something which has been going on for a few years. Think about how often you're exposed to them daily. And then think about how angry and furious people get when they read a story, when they hear somebody else's opinion about a given story or given event. All you need to do is just hear somebody talking about something, and it can generate an emotional response in you. And that emotional response is an energetic response, because you are an energetic energy being, and your thoughts create your reality. So if your mind is hooking into this pendulum, if the pendulum's hooking into you, and you're diverting some of your energy to the pendulum keeps swinging. If you're not familiar with the pendulum is, it's ultimately a heavy object on the end of a piece of string, and without any force, it won't move. But in this concept, when you put thoughts and thinking and thought energy into anything, the pendulum will start moving, because your energy is the force on the pendulum. And then when things get compounded, there can be another group of people who are also putting their thought into the pendulum. So the pendulum swings from one side, it swings to the other. It swings to one side, it swings to the other. And that's a really interesting theory. And actually, as opposed to calling it a theory, it's more of a descriptive word. What I'm describing for a lot of you will be something that you've already thought of previously, but there's just been no name for it. I can think of some pretty major topics which you're almost guaranteed to have an opinion on, and that will be things like climate change. But then climate change has subtopics like fossil fuels, using an electric car, not burning firewood. You'll have an opinion on all of these. It might be wars going on anywhere in the world. It could be a high-level story in the news about a crime or police brutality, or something that somebody in government's done, or a nurse or a doctor or a celebrity. All of this, all of these stories are designed to lure you in, and you divert your energy to it. And remember that if your energy is being diverted to anything externally, then it can't be used to help you manifest your own reality. Because if your mind is on negative thoughts, your spiritual vibration is then vibrating at a negative frequency, and it keeps you in that low vibrational state that we talk about. In order to be resonating at the high vibrational state, it means positive thinking, it means positive prerogative, it means seeing the positives in something silly. Even if it means faking the positivity, you can be faced with a challenging situation, and rather than letting it defeat you, you can immediately switch what most people would imagine is negative to positive. For example, I had some furniture delivered yesterday, and I had to have some friends help me deliver it. And I'm not going to lie, it's been causing me anxiety for a week. Not huge anxiety, but it has been causing me a bit of worry because I didn't know if it was going to fit up the stairs. The stairs have an angle at the top, so am I going to be able to fit it around it? But in the end, the guys turned up and I was really impressed with them because one of the guys who I'd never actually seen in a working environment before was really proactive. He was really positive, and it was like no job was too small. We were going to get these chest of drawers and this wardrobe up the stairs, and it was a done deal. So it's kind of like his mindset was similar to the post box analogy that I talked about in one of my previous videos. He went to get that mail, and in this case, the mail was getting the furniture up the stairs. There was no doubt, there was no hesitancy in his mind. However, one of the other guys, he was very negative. When we got the wardrobe to the very top of the stairs, he kept saying, he was shouting up the stairs, "Oh, I don't think this is going to fit. Oh, you'll do well to get that round the corner. Oh, yeah, you're going to have to bring it back down." And it was like, there was three of us trying to get this huge, heavy object up the stairs. And it was like, we didn't need that negativity. We needed positivity. Even if he didn't think we were going to get the wardrobe round the corner or up the flight of stairs, he still should have been saying, "Don't worry, guys, you're going to get this done. It's going to work out. It'll be over in a second." So we were trying to do this arduous physical task, which was quite worrisome. But luckily, in this situation, and it's quite a good one now I'm thinking about it, because the positive energy of one guy was counteracting the negative energy of the other guy. And in fact, the positive energy was higher. So that then eliminated the negative energy. And surprise, surprise, the job was done. It took 45 minutes and everybody was happy afterwards. But whatever the story is, if tomorrow the news, the media, documentaries, TV shows, movies, if they stopped talking about a subject, then within the space of a week, the pendulum would stop swinging because people's thoughts and their mind will be on other subjects. So what people were worrying about, it would just cease to exist because it no longer enters our frame of reference and it's no longer entering reality. If the news about a certain subject stopped overnight, the subject would no longer exist. It would cease to exist. And it's as simple as that. I hope everybody is still with me on this one. Another great example is if you go to a sports stadium, whether it's football, soccer, or baseball, basketball, potentially there could be hundreds of thousands of people inside that stadium. Now, whether you're the away fans or the home fans, your attention is going to be on that pitch. It's going to be on the field. So can you imagine the amount of energy structures that are forming with all of those minds inside the stadium, all watching the same game, having the same emotions, whether you miss the basket or the ball goes past the post, everybody cheers and then there's deflation. And then whether your team wins or whether it loses, ultimately what's happened is that sports stadium has in some way, shape or form managed to consume your energy. Now, there'll be people out there who will be thinking, well, I've enjoyed that. It was fun. Well, that could be the case, but we can go one step further and think, well, if there's 100,000 people inside the stadium watching the game, what about the millions of people around the world in all different countries, all watching the same game, all experiencing the same emotions and feelings when that goal whizzes past a post or when the goalkeeper makes a save? That's all information structure. It's all an energy structure. And ultimately, there can be a mass drain of energy across the world and a mass increase in energy or energetic current all across the earth. So just imagine the amount of energy that's created from the Super Bowl or from the FIFA World Cup final. So it's pretty amazing, the concept that when multiple people all start thinking in unison about the same thing, that our minds end up connecting to each other through the electrical energy that our mind emits. And people start resonating at the same frequency. It's pretty mind-blowing. But when you're aware of these snares or pendulums, as we're referring to them now, when you're aware of their existence, it makes them much more challenging to get that initial grip on you, that initial hook. It will be difficult for the pendulum to hook into you if you're aware that it's trying to hook into you. Now, the only problem with that is that the majority of people on the earth don't know that the pendulums are out there trying to hook into you, that they're trying to drain you of your energy. And that's why people ultimately end up creating detrimental realities for themselves. And they certainly never manifest their desires. In time, you can take steps and measures to stop the pendulum from draining your spiritual energy. And actually with practice, you can even go as far as eliminating the pendulum in the process. And then remember, the pendulum is anything which is making you feel bad, negative, getting you rallied up, or having you strongly opinionated on something which is draining your energy, you're using your energy, because we only have so much energy that we can use at any one time. When we go to sleep, our physical energy is regenerated. After you've been running around an athletics field, your physical energy has been depleted. I've found myself at various parts of my life, in hindsight, where I've been lured in by these energy draining situations. It can be very difficult to be completely impervious to them. This has been a short video and a crash course on Reality Transurfing's Pendulum. Now there's dozens and hundreds more videos I can make on the subject, but all at different levels of our gnosis. And it's not all about Reality Transurfing either. The pendulum example is just one way of pigeonholing or using a descriptive word to describe lots of other phenomena that you've experienced in your life. And now that I've talked about this, you're probably going to have already been aware of stuff that you've devoted time and energy to that you didn't need to, or energy that other people have tried to take from you that they had no right to, and you've ended up surrendering it over to them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and like all my videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you folks on the next one. Bye-bye.